victory. I just got another victory. Opposition said they sick of me. We turn their future to history. They try to hit me, they missing me. Ooh, they in the way. They getting stepped on back in the day. We who they slept on. You see my place. It's never.
What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to Sheer Brilliance Knicks. It's a good time. It's a good time. I know I'm a little bit late. I know people have already given their takes on the victory that we had last night. The New York Knicks would go on and down the Washington Wizards. And I just wanted to get on here real quick and talk about it. And there's no other way that we celebrate victories here at Sheer Brilliance Knicks than with Knicks Deli. Knicks Deli. Okay? So we are going to look at Knicks Deli today. And we're going to talk about these New York Knicks. And I'm going to give you my little take on it. And then we're going to find out what say you. All right? But the New York Knicks had a great win last night. It was great to see. First and foremost, it was great to see them back in action. All right? Our team has given us a lot to cheer for this season. They've given us a lot to remain engaged with. We become fans of them. You know, the cohesion that they've built. Not only this season, but it's a culmination of the last 3 years with the front office keeping this team together. So that's something that I enjoy watching. I enjoy seeing them support each other. You know, the team had an opportunity to see each other in the All-Star game. You know, I don't think there's another team in the league right now who has the level of growing chemistry that our squad has. And it was evident last night. New York Knicks had fell down about 15 points, anywhere between 13 and 15 points. But there was a different feeling in the building. There was a different feeling in the building. Any other season, you would feel a sense of dread. Almost for me, a sense that you're ready to turn off the television. Because you know the game is over. All right? Not with these Knicks, though. It's something different brewing with this team, not with these Knicks. The sense now is, all right, by the third quarter, by halftime, we should at least have it within single digits. By the third quarter, we should have retaken the lead, or we should be flipping back and forth. With them taking the lead, us taking the lead. But one thing you can guarantee is that this team will fight and this team won't quit. So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this victory, and I'm excited to look forward to this game tonight. And so I don't push up against the time for the start time or the pregame for the game tonight. Let's just jump right in. So the New York Knicks were able to overcome the Washington Wizards after coming back with a score of 109-115. That is 109-115. The New York Knicks defeated the Washington Wizards and Kristaps Porzingis last night in the nation's capital. Randall channels his Mamba mentality, and he blacks out. So we're going to jump into that as well. But first and foremost, you already know, I want to thank you for joining me. If you're joining me for the first time, hope you enjoy this video. It's going to be brief, but it's going to give you a quick snapshot of what Knicks Deli is. We're going to get into that in a moment, but I want to thank you for being here right now. If you're returning, my SB community, you already know what it is. Let's go. 50 wins. 50 wins. Windows I'm jumping out of. Doors I'm crashing through. I'm playing in the middle of the street. 50 wins, damn it. We got this. Ride with me, SB community. You know I love you. And you can't have those people who support you and root for you if you don't have those people who look at you kind of sideways and don't want to see you do so well. And I know those people could be in here as well, whether it's live or watching the video later on. But I'm saying to you right now, friend or foe, we want the smoke here at Sheer Brilliance Knicks. So engage with the channel. Something you don't agree with, put it in the comment section. You're just as welcome here too. If you're a fan of NBA basketball, then you're all right with me. Okay, so either thumbs up or thumbs down, but engage. We want all the smoke. All right. But before I move any further, here at Sheer Brilliance Knicks, I always like to give a shout out to those people who are part of the SB community. And I do this with Sheer's top 5 dead or alive. Sheer's top 5 dead or alive. All right. Do my own ad-libs here too at Sheer Brilliance Knicks. So here is Sheer's top 5. Number 1, De Niro 518. Shout out to you, my brother. What's going on? Number 2, Craig McQueen, new to the channel. Welcome, bro. Welcome. Hope to see you engage with the videos, engage with the content, engage with the lives. But welcome to the SB community. Number 3, big task at hand, my man. What's going on, man? What's going on? Shout out to you. Number 4, Donald Young, also my guy, part of the SB community. Let's go. And number 5, Jack City. And he's not new anymore, so we dropped the new. He's simply Jack City. Welcome, SB community members. Let's go. You know we ride all day. We roll deep. So shout out to y'all. Want to always start out the videos giving the kudos to the people who are helping this channel grow. We are 720 strong. We're going to hit 1,000 by the summer. We're going to call that and talk that into existence. But I appreciate you for being here. I want to make this quick, so let me dive right in. Knicks Daily Edition, if you're here and you're new for the first time, the way we celebrate victories here at Knicks at Sheer Brilliance Knicks is through Knicks Deli. Now, everybody know if you're from New York or if you want to visit New York, one thing you got to know as part of the culture is the deli in New York, or we call the bodega. All right. So here in Knicks Deli, there are only 4 items on the menu. The first is the bacon, egg, and cheese. And you can't say it slowly like that. You got to be like bacon, egg, and cheese. Okay, that's how you have to order your sandwich. And there are 3 things, the bacon, egg, and cheese, that make that sandwich off the chain. So we want to talk about who are the 3 players that made this victory off the chain, contributed to it, and helped us put us over the top and get this victory. So we're going to talk about who's the bacon, egg, and cheese of the game. Next on the menu is the chopped cheese. And the chopped cheese is relatively new to the New York menu, but that thing be busting. So we want to talk about who had a relatively new contribution to this game, but helped us get this victory last night. Next on the menu is the dollar slice. And everybody knows that New York has the best pizza in the world. I mean, in the world, okay? And the pizza is the staple of New York. So we want to talk about who is the player that serves as the stabilizing factor. Who's the staple of this game that helped us get this victory? And lastly, you can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese. You can't have the chopped cheese. You can't even have the quarter water if you ain't got nothing to wash that thing down with. And in New York, 9 times out of 10, we washing it down with the quarter water. So we want to talk about who was the player that had an impact on a quarter or a little bit over a period of quarters that helped us secure this victory. Then we're going to tie this thing up with 2 more segments. One is the Nah Sa Nah, you wildin' moment of the game. And that's where we either look at the game before or after, or anything connected to last night's game that made you look at the screen sideways and be like, nah, sa nah, you wildin'. And my nah, sa nah, you wildin' moment of the game for this segment is not what you may think it is going to be. All right. But I want you to put down what you think in the chat. Lastly, we're going to wrap this thing up with a few moments here at Knicks Deli called I Read It on Knicks Deli. And that's when we visit New York Knicks Reddit website. And we see what a little bit of the rest of Knicks Nation is saying, whether it's surrounding this game, surrounding our team, or surrounding the rest of the season. So this is how I'm going to quarterback this thing today. All right. So I'm going to jump back in. If you don't know already, Sheer, your boy Sheer, I'm the host, and I'm the Prince of Positivity. Okay. There's a lot to be positive about this game that we just played. We just come back. So is there an expectation of some rust? But 9 times out of 10, if you visited my channel, you're going to get honesty, but you're going to get a half glass filled perspective. Okay. So let's get into it. Who is the bacon of the game? And obviously, we all know the bacon of the game is Julius mother flipping Randle. Julius mother flipping Randle. 46 points. What your boy talking about? 46 points. 2 assists, 2 rebounds. He ain't have no break. He had the 3-point contest, and he just ain't want to give away what he was going to do last night. So he let everybody believe you can't shoot because he knew that Washington was on the schedule and they were going to leave him open. They didn't leave him open last night. He was taking top-notch, difficult shots last night. He was cashing them in. Laugh now, cry later. Julius Randle is balling. That boy is balling. 46 points. I'm not at the comfort level yet, though. Julius has already exhibited and proven that he has talent. But I'm not necessarily at the comfort level that once he starts putting up those shots, or he takes that rhythm dribble and he goes for 3, I'm not comfortable yet knowing that he's going to make those. Usually when I'm confident and riding with him is when he's already at 20 points. And I believe I'm going to get there. I think I just need to see a larger, more consistent body of work. But what cannot be denied is that Julius Randle is a top power forward in this league. He gives these cats the work. And something that I've noticed, not to jump back, but to jump back to the All-Star game. And somebody else mentioned it on Twitter, I believe, and I was happy that they did because I noticed it. Is that this All-Star selection, he seemed to be more embraced by the room. He seemed to be one of the stars. Whether it was the All-Stars that was greeting him and engaging in him, or simply his level of comfort being in that environment. He didn't have his head down. He knew he belonged there. And I'm sure it's because he could look around the room and be like, I dropped 33 on you. I dropped 46 on you. I gave you 28. Kudos. I can't say it enough. Kudos to this front office. And this is why many of us, we don't got positions in the New York Knicks organization. This is why we're not the GM. This is why we're not management. This is why we ain't on a coaching staff. Because the league is changing. And players like Julius Randle is going to be on the forefront. There's going to be other teams, depending on how far we go, who are going to say we need to get a Julius Randle type in this game. I know it's going to happen. We see it happening. I don't know if many of you watched the game on League Pass, but the beauty of the game being on League Pass and the actual game being held in Washington is you have an opportunity to hear the opposing team's announcers call the game. And all they kept saying was, this guy is a bull in a china shop, or he's a bull. He is a load to handle. At halftime, Kuz was mic'd up during the game. And he had that moment that everybody in the internet is talking about, where he had to flash that "you too small" sign. And honestly speaking, he flashed the "too small" sign, but if you read his lips, it says something like "little baby" or whatever. And I'm like, yo, this man ain't calling him a baby. Now, Julius said he didn't hear it. But immediately after that, that man rattled off about 3 straight plays where he scored, so 6 straight points. A play or 2 later, he hit a 3-pointer. He started blacking out. And that was like a Mamba moment, bro. Like, that's one of those moments where he wants to remind people he's the best player on the floor. Now, the interesting part about that is I always think he had this thing about raising his game anytime he played Kristaps Porzingis, because he knows that he's the power forward that's following Kristaps. So he always wants to give Kristaps that work. But initially, when they first started playing, that height disparity was obvious. It's not about height anymore. It's about stopping this strong, stout power forward, this new age power forward that's matured and understands the league now. So Kristaps has his hands full more so than Julius having his hands full. But Julius Randle is showing out. And at first, it was almost like when Jalen Brunson came here to the team, man, it's a godsend. Now RJ and Julius is going to be able to mesh. But RJ should mesh faster because he's more team-oriented. He just needed somebody to help get him the ball. Julius may have a difficulty adjusting because he's used to handling the ball with all those responsibilities, and he thinks he's the number one option and taking a shot. But what has happened very quickly is that Julius' adjustment has been much faster. And he says this because he trusts that there's another person on the team that can hit big shots. He tried to walk that back. He tried to walk it back. He was just like, oh, I know my whole team is going to hit big shots. But there was truth in what he said. There's another player that can give another team the work consistently. And that's all he needed to know to be able to relinquish the reins. So we're seeing now more chemistry with Brunson and Randle, and we're waiting for RJ to get on board. But something that I'm so proud of, and it's a joy to watch him now. You see what he's cut out of the game. You know, he don't have to dig deep into his bag, his inconsistent bag. He keeps it down to a little part. He knows his steps. He got that two-step. He's going with the two-step. Back and forth. Three-pointer. Boom, boom. You know, so he could tighten up his bag because he know he got Jalen Brunson there. But Julius is giving the league work right now. And they got no choice but to recognize it. So the bacon of the game goes to Julius mother-flipping Randle. All right? If you are in the chat, do me a favor. Who is your bacon of the game? Who was one of the three players that helped us secure this victory last night against the Washington Wizards? Next on the menu, who's the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese? We already got the bacon, Julius. Who did I choose as the egg? Let's give him props. All right? Because he's had a stretch that's been off. And he's been getting dragged a little bit by Knicks Twitter. RJ Barrett, respect, bro. You get the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese today. Okay? You were one of those elements that helped us get over the top. You had a shaky start. And that's not new, whether you're thinking about the overall season or certain games. It's not new. You've had a shaky start. But one thing I always loved and respected about RJ is RJ doesn't get rattled. Or he doesn't give it in terms of his outward expression and appearance. He sticks to it. He doesn't care. And I heard him say, Coach K told him this one time. I don't care if you 0 for 10. Take 30 more shots. Now, I don't want him to follow that advice on the Knicks, but he does. He doesn't get rattled if he misses his first 8 because he always believes he's going to make his next. And he did that last night. And we needed it because Brunson was off, you know, in terms of his percentage shooting. So kudos to RJ. Stayed focused, stayed locked in, hit some drives when he needed to, or when we need him to, and ones. That's a major part of our offense. You know, RJ being able to drive to the basket and draw the foul. And he's been picking up, making his free throws as well. So RJ, I'm not going to spend too much time on you. I just wanted to give you a little bit of flowers and say we tip our hat and recognize it's the second half of a season and we're getting back on track. So shout out to RJ Barrett, who is the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese. And who is the cheese that makes up this thing that's off the chain? The bacon, egg, and cheese, staple in New York. The cheese goes to Emmanuel mother-flipping Quickly. All right? I know I may have left out an E in his name, I believe. I think so. I don't know. But Emmanuel Quickly, you are the cheese of the game. Emmanuel Quickly is an unsung hero. He may be the most improved player for the New York Knicks. All right? To me, I continue to marvel at how he has really solidified himself as an irreplaceable piece on this team for this season. All right? Once again, I reflect back on the summertime. earlier in the season where his name was central in a lot of the trade talks, a lot of the trade conversations. And people don't consider how that impacts a player. So for him to have the shaky start that he had at the beginning of the season, many of us on Knicks Twitter, I say us because I want to be inclusive of myself, but it wasn't me. You know what? It was me that was looking at possibilities of what type of players we can bring in and then use IQ as one of the pieces to send out to get that value back. So now that I think about it, it was me. I was saying that in order for Obi to be able to take off, you might have to split up that little that friendship. Maybe that'll lock him in and feel like there's no security blanket. If this can happen to him, I need to get on my grind. But Emmanuel quickly is giving everybody the middle finger. Once again, I said it earlier in videos, I noticed the moment where he began to lock in. Before he was so effervescent and inclusive with the fans, and I'm just happy to be here. But after that trade talk happened over the summertime, and then his start in the beginning of the season, the only way he was able to get his game back is when it's almost like he had that look of, you know what, F everybody. Everybody is against me. I'm just going to lock in and give everybody this work. And he did just that. And he did it primarily by playing defense. He locked in on defense, and then his offense followed. And right now, you can't leave him open. He's even hitting three-pointers off of the curl. Side, shortest distance of the court, top of the key, off the wing, it doesn't matter with him. In addition to that, he's driving the basket, he's penetrating, he's finding the open man. This man very quickly has become a Swiss Army knife for Tom Thibodeau. And he stays locked in, and he stays at on the ankle of Tom Thibodeau, learning what is it you need for me to do. I love that he's clearly defined his role on this team, and he's the ultimate teammate. So shout out to Emmanuel quickly last night. Scored 16 points, helped contribute to this win. Bacon, egg, and cheese, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel quickly. Round of applause for those three. Next up, who is the dollar slice of the game? Now, the dollar slice of the game, obviously, is our boy Mitch. Money-making Mitch. Mitch, please. Mitch better have my money. Let's go. Mitch, money-making Mitch is back. It's good to have him back. You see the difference. You see the difference. There was that injury tweak that we looked at, and all of us held our collective breaths. All right. But once again, he's knocking the dust off, knocking the rust off slowly but surely. But it's a difference in seeing his presence. I feel when you see him on the court and we're playing with that full team, I feel so experienced. You know what I mean? Like we watched these young players grow up in New York. We watched RJ, we watched Julius, we watched IQ, Mitch, we watched them grow up. So when I watch them on the court right now, I don't see those young players. It feels like we have our experienced team. And honestly, I recognize that feeling when I watch them, because I remember watching the 90s Knicks. I remember that year, and it was the year that we really thought we were going to do something. It was that year we were really confident that we could go in with our team and beat anybody. When they all decided to wear black shoes and all decided to shave their head, with the exception of like Charles Smith. No, Charles Smith shaved his head, with the exception of Patrick. Patrick was like, I'm not shaving my head. You know what I mean? But that year when they did that for solidarity, it was just like, yo, we know what we're getting from every player on that team. And we know that every player knew their role. And that was all Pat Riley. Well, you knew he was getting from Mace. Mace was the first ball handler. If you look at Zion, you know what I mean? You see Mason without the hops. You know what I mean? His level of diversity in his game. But that experience, that feeling, knowing that they're going to find a way to win, they usually had their fourth quarter labeled winning time. And we're almost there, I feel. People know what to do. Mitch doesn't make as many rookie mistakes. You're not going to catch him all the time jumping for every head fake or committing. I mean, he does commit fouls, but not like 3 in the first 6 minutes like he used to. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's a joy to watch. It's a joy to see happening, and it's happening before our eyes. And this is where I think Knicks fans need to get credit, because we need to get credit for sticking with our team. Yeah, we have our opinions on who should go, who should stay, why is this person not playing, why is that person playing. But no matter what, we watch and we support our squad. We want to win. And I think we're now seeing this team believe that they should win every game they go into. And that's different. That's different. So Mitchell Robinson, it was a joy seeing him back. His first game back, 10 points, 12 rebounds. Listening to the announcers for the Washington Wizards, they were floored. They were like, listen, they started spitting our own stats. Oh, this team leads the league in second chance points. Look, they're already up 12 points to 0 on the Washington Wizards. Well, that's what they do. They're long. It's just like, they're putting bodies on us. I love listening to them, and they weren't always talking that. Kristaps Porzingis got out to a hot start. And Drew Gooden, who was a former player, I believe, that we had on our team, but he's a commentator for their announcing team. He says, dare I say, Kristaps Porzingis is a Knicks killer? I'm like, Ninja, what? And that's when Julius pulled out the whoop ass. He pulled out the can of whoop ass. He opened that son bitch open, and he opened up the can of whoop ass on the Washington Wizards. Shut that whole thing down. Shut it down. And that's what a lot of teams are experiencing, thinking these are the same old Knicks. He's using that term, Knicks killer. You're going to learn today. That's the energy that the New York Knicks have been moving with and playing with, being I'm not sure. I think it's like 18-12 or something like that. Having a great record on the road, walking into opposing teams' arenas with that energy. You're going to learn today. We're not the same old Knicks. So shout out to Mitchell Robinson, who is the dollar slice of the game. All right. Next on the menu is the chopped cheese. Who's the chopped cheese here at Knicks Deli? And the chopped cheese goes to Isaiah Hartenstein. I got to give credits to my guy. First and foremost, applaud all efforts. You held down the fort. You and Sims held down the fort while Mitch was away. And you got better. The New York Knicks, one thing they won't be known for this season is being heartless, literally and figuratively. You see what I did there? God damn it, I'm the Prince of Positivity. I do this. I Heart, J Heart, Heart Foundation, not heartless. The New York Knicks. These bigs play with energy and tenacity and intensity. Our players do. You saw Mitch hit the floor for the 50-50 ball. You see Quentin Grimes almost fell out of bounds to save the ball and get it back in bounds so we could score. You see Jalen Brunson taking charges. These are all the small pieces that it takes to advance in playoff games. Very close, very high intensity games. We are doing the little things. We are playing like the city of New York, willing to get dirty, willing to scrap, willing to continue to punch you in your face, even if we're getting punched. That's all New York Knicks fans have asked for. A team that resembles the spirit of New York. And Isaiah Hartenstein has understood the assignment from day one. He understood the assignment when Nick Fast was just like, you know what? He ain't giving us what we thought we was going to get from him. We think we need to ship him out. I'm done with Hartenstein. He understood, don't listen to us. Lock in and focus. Because it's a marathon, not a sprint. He understood that. But Isaiah Hartenstein, you get the chopped cheese of the day. You get the chopped cheese here at Knicks Deli. Because you're chopped cheese, not chopped liver. All right? Shout out to Isaiah Hartenstein. 10 rebounds, 4 points last night in that victory. Important victory over the Washington Wizards. And lastly on the menu is the quarter water. You can't have the chopped cheese. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese. You can't have the dollar slice if you ain't got nothing to wash that thing down with. Here at Knicks Deli, what we use is the quarter water. And the quarter water goes to my guy, Jalen Brunson. Yeah, that's right. He was off a little bit, but he hit shots that count. And he continued to play the point guard, getting players in position. 9 assists. 9 assists. That's all I wanted to put up here as a point of importance, the 9 assists. You have to find a way to impact the game and make winning plays, even if you don't have your full offense. Or if you're known for defense, if you're finding yourself slacking on defense, your effort counts. What are you contributing of importance when your bread and butter isn't there? Quarter water goes to Jalen Brunson for that scoop shot that was much needed to keep us in the front, in the lead, and help us extend the lead, I believe, at that point in time to 4 points. Kudos. Kudos for finding your teammates and knowing when to pull back and not to continue chucking. Although I think he was up there in terms of 20 attempts. But it was all within the flow of the game, and he didn't stop driving the basketball. All the plays that all the shots he took are shots he makes regularly. I'm looking at him on like every other game, those shots go down. Coming off of this break, you never know how the vacation is going to impact you. But the quarter water of the day, because he hit timely shots last night that helped us secure this victory, is Jalen Mother Flippin' Brunson. So shout out to the menu. Bacon, egg, and cheese of the game, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickly. We have the dollar slice of the game was Mitchell Robinson, and the chopped cheese was Isaiah Hartenstein. And of course, the quarter water was Jalen Brunson. So we applaud all of those players who were part of the menu here in Knicks Deli that helped us secure that victory. Now, to wrap this thing up, my last 2 segments, who is the Nah Son Nah You Wildin' moment of the game? And for those people who are just joining me, didn't hear exactly what that means, that's when there's something connected to this game, something connected to the win, or anything connected to our team. It makes you look at the screen sideways and say, nah, son, nah. You wildin'. And for me, my nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game goes to that point where Drew Gooden tried to call Kristaps Porzingis a Knicks killer. And I loved it. If you have a chance to go watch it on League Pass, it's funny. It's joyful. All right? Because he was like, dare I say Knicks killer? Kristaps Porzingis? And granted, Kristaps was busting our ass in the first quarter. All right? That man had like 17 points. He was hitting 3-pointers. He was feeling himself. But if you know Kristaps Porzingis' game, you just like, let's see how long this thing gonna go. Because he's going to cool down and it's going to be tough for him to get it back. But it also says that our coach, Tom Thibodeau, and the coaching staff went into halftime to make adjustments. It also says that Julius Randle played a little bit more physical, started giving him different looks to make him uncomfortable. All right? So I love the fact that we made adjustments defensively. I love the fact that Julius continued to make Kristaps play defense, which also impacts the offense. And I love the fact that Kristaps Porzingis scored 17 points and ended with 19. Let's talk about it. Nah, son, nah. You wildin'. The Knicks killer. Better kill that noise. That's what you better kill. And lastly, let's take a trip to Hot Off the Grill. And let's see what we read on Knicks Deli, on Knicks Reddit. So let me give me a moment. Once again, you're joining the Sheer Billions Knicks channel. I want to thank you for being here with me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you. All right, so let me see if I could share my screen a little bit and see what they're talking on Knicks Deli. Okay, let's look at this tab real quick. Want to thank you. If you're in the chat, throw your ones in the chat. If you're excited about this win. Okay, let me see what y'all see. Can y'all see that? Yeah. We're cooking with grease right now. So let's see what they're talking here on Knicks Deli. Here on Reddit, other Knicks fans. Stephen Bondi puts out, he says, a symbol of a shift in New York. The Knicks versus the Kings on March 9th will now be televised on TNT. It replaces the Nets versus the Bucks. So already they are recognizing what we're doing in New York. I'm telling you guys, we can get frustrated all we want with major media, but as long as we produce, they're going to have to see us. We're going to make them recognize us. So that is interesting to see, and I'm happy for it. And it is a symbol of a shift. So shout out to you, Stephen Bondi, because that language is exactly the case. What else do we got? Somebody else here, Shwinny Poo says, really cool and genuinely interesting answer from Tibbs regarding Julius and the team's development in terms of a shot profile since this regime under Leon Rose took over. This speaks to an organizational commitment to maximizing offensive efficiency. I want to dig a little further and see if I can find that quote, because I think that would be real interesting to see. Bobby's Knicks hat says, we're in uncharted 2 stars territory. Facts. ESPN stats and info. I don't know if that's an official ESPN network. You know, the blue check means nothing these days. But he says Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle each have 3 40-point games this season. They're the first pair of teammates in Knicks history to each have 3 40-point games in the same season. I said that in another video, man. Julius is starting to etch his name all over the New York Knicks record books. We got to pay attention to that. And I think Jalen Brunson is going to be there as well. So shout out to our 2 stars. I like to see this. We have a post by you, Affectionate T, 9/20/22/4, who says, this is a Tibbs appreciation post. Says, yes, I know he could be stubborn. Let me see if I can read the whole post. I don't want to disrespect it. Yes, I know he could be stubborn, but since cutting down the rotation to 9, they are one of the best teams record-wise in the NBA. He's been willing to bench RJ late with the addition of Hart. Give the coach some credit. 100%. I know there's going to be some of us fans who don't want to do that. You know, you feel your way about Tibbs, but you're going to need to learn to adjust. If players on our team have to learn how to adjust, we need to learn to adjust what our opinions are as well. I don't know what that is. You need to take that off. There we go. All right, so we got a Julius graphics. It's Julius Randle redemption season. Yo, they flipped his thumbs down to a thumbs up. Yo, shout out to, what was it? Pirate Spaceships. Okay, that was him. Shout out to him for flipping that graphic, the 30 around. And yeah, Julius Randle legitimately turned things around. Let me see what we have here. Bong. Okay. So I read this. So Lazarus 704 says, Stephen Curry, 7 years to the day, a moment I'll never forget. This is obviously Steph's tweet about 7 years ago. 7 years ago to the day, a moment I'll never forget. It's only right that the king of the bang bang got the first pair. Mike Breen, thanks for everything you've done for our amazing game. We had to bring these back for y'all. And they got a picture of Steph with Mike Breen here. That's a good look. It's always good, man, when you start seeing other players around the league or other teams around the league acknowledge members and employees of the New York Knicks organization of Madison Square Garden. All right, so I'm assuming that he may have given him a pair of sneakers or something. I don't want to click on it because I don't want to keep too much time on here. And let me do two more for here at Knicks Reddit, because we're about 10 minutes away from pregame stuff starting. And I don't want to bleed into that time. All right. So next, it says in 2003 rom-com, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, the Knicks play the Kings in the 2003 NBA Finals. Wow. And it says 109. Let me find out. And it says time jumps from 1 minute to 7 minutes. I don't know how that's relevant. All right. And the last one, we have Back Like We Never Left. Is that Mike Miller? I don't know. Somebody has a love affair, jokingly with Mike Miller. So Patrick Ewing's knee pads. So many channels are crazy. Patrick Ewing's knee pads wrote Back Like We Never Left. So they got Mike Miller with the Cholo headband on, the cross, the chain, and the Hennessy. You know what I mean? And the beard, obviously, the beard. So shout out to our Reddit at Knicks Deli. Other Knicks fans as part of Knicks Nation. And listen, it's just good. It was good victory. It felt good to see them play after a while, and it also felt good to see that they still held to their principles, and we got this victory. So real quick, let me see what y'all saying here. Let me shout out to the chat. I know y'all thought I was going to ignore you, but that is not the case. So we got Chief Eagle Spirit Dancing. Shout out to you. Think you may be new to the channel. Listen, welcome to the SB community, friend or foe. If you're a fan of NBA basketball, you should be here. So shout out to you. Says Real Talk, New York in the house. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to you. Next up, we have Esco is Real. What's good? Facts. Let's go. Mike Lilly. Let's get it. Welcome back. I guess Kuzma knows Randall ain't no baby now. I didn't think I'd ever fall for a team like the Starks, Ewing, et cetera, era. Yo, I think many of us are there. And a lot of that comes from growing with them. The frustration, man, it's like raising kids. You love them. There's going to be moments they frustrate the hell out of you. You're going to want to trade them away. But then you keep them, and then you finally see them start to get what you've been teaching. All right? Don't act like I'm the only one who wanted to trade kids away. Okay? I've had siblings that I've been rejected on trades for. Okay? So let's keep it 100. And also, how many of you, did you guys see at a portion in the game when Leon Rose went over there and he dapped up Kyle Kuzma? He was like, I love you, man. He was like, I love you too. Yo, say what you will. The New York Knicks knew what the hell they were doing when they hired Leon Rose. It's not tampering if you have previously established relationships. Those are just good friends. Come on, man. We're on the way back, man. I'm telling you, those relationships are invaluable. And Leon Rose is an attorney, so he knows how to work around that language. So that was good to see as well. Shout out to you, Mike Lilly. He says, but here I am loving this crew. Listen, you and all of us, man. You and all of us. Chief Eagle Spirit Dancing says TNT can kick rocks. Kick them down the street. 100%. My guy, big task at hand. My guy, what's good? Let's go. I'm just happy to be back, baby. I'm just happy to be back watching these Knicks. Looking forward to this game tonight. It should be a good game. We know New Orleans ain't no slouch. Should be a good game. But shout out to you, Big Task. He also says, hope all is well. All is better, brother. All is better. I'm finally being able to transition back to New York. So many of you know I've been living in Indiana for about 7 years, but secured a position in New York. So this month is all about packing, and I should be on New York soil by the beginning of April. So appreciate all you guys, and maybe we connect, link up, go to a couple of games. I'll catch up with some of the KFTV crew, you know what I mean, pre-gaming, some of that too. All of that stuff we love to see when we're far, but absolutely want to take advantage of if we're there in person. So I appreciate your thoughts, brother. Next up, we got Chief Eagle Spirit Dancing, says, peace, brother. Peace to you as well. I love the name, man. I love the name. I love the energy it brings. Big Task at Hand says, Nets fans are nowhere to be found. Crickets. And I love it. Atlanta. I love it. We'll see. But like somebody said, that ain't our business. Hey, that ain't our business, because Lord knows we've been there. You know, we're going, you know, we did our shimmy when it went down. But yo, we got our own problems. We focus. We got our own mission to lock in on. That's what we're going to do. But Esco is real says they hide in New Jersey. Word. They hide in New Jersey. Send them swamp dragons back over to the swamp. Send them back. But send us Mikal Bridges. All right. I think he might be a free agent a year and a half from now. He need to come play with his boys. The New York Knicks got a young squad. We got a young squad, young veterans. Come on, man. But yeah, send them boys back to the swamp. Big Task at Hand says, that's awesome. NYC, baby, I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, I'm excited. Don't get it twisted. Indiana treated me very well. I didn't know if it would, but they've treated me like very well out here. I'm just excited. I need this, you know, I need to hear taxi drivers cursing, you know? I miss the smell of urine in the subway. You know what I mean? Listen, there's nothing that'll get your instincts and your energy rushing to hear a little bit of gunshots and not know if it's fireworks. I need some of that in my life right now. Okay? I'm too old for that shit, but I need some of that in my life right now. But I'm looking forward to it. Big Task at Hand says, Esco is real. Oh, Lord. LOL. Esco is real responds with a 100. Yo, folks, we're going to do this again. After this victory, I'm calling it already. But we'll be on here tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow is Sunday. All right. I respect, you know, but we're going to be on here tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Let's get this win. You know, hop on Twitter. If you see me on Twitter at SB Knicks, engage with me. I'm going to be commenting throughout the game as well. And let's get this Knicks Daily for the win tomorrow. All right. But I hope you guys are well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting this video. And keep in mind, the same thing applies to life that applies to our team. There's no struggle. There's no progress. And we all know that we here and we got next. Peace.